every day. And that's what I've done my whole career. I've been in patrol. I've been in the special victims unit. I've been in property management. I've been in transportation where I've transported prisoners, which I still do for overtime when available. And so I've been throughout different states. I had the actually a great opportunity of doing that, seeing different prisons, federal, state, county, um, local jails, and meeting different people. And it's interesting. My whole career has been interesting, and a lot that everybody here can relate to. There's a lot going on since I've been on the department and currently now a lot going on that I think we can all relate to. Like Eve was speaking about human trafficking. I don't want to go off the subject here, but through the things I've done throughout my career, my experiences, is everything we're dealing with now: human trafficking, disabilities, drugs, guns, um, domestic violence, crimes against children, our veterans, our elderly, our children. There's so much going on that we all have going on in our lives that I deal with day to day with people losing their homes, losing their families on drugs, mental disabilities also, which we have coming up pretty soon this month. Also with ailments, people who lose their jobs because of breast cancer or cancers, men, women, children, different things that we go through in our lives. And even our officers, and we still suit up and we go to work every day and we deal with this in a different aspect with the public and with our families. So, there are things that we deal with that we personally experience. And through that, that's what brought me 10 years ago when I began to navigate through this journey of becoming the sheriff. Not because I'm a female, not because I'm Hispanic, but because through my life experiences and everything I've encountered and everything I've done, my investigations with domestic violence, like as I said before, with child crimes, with arson, with burglary, traffic stops, drugs. I was in the drug task force where I did hand to hand, and I dealt with drug dealers, and I dealt with other things like that in the aspect of narcotics, undercover work, and
So let me ask you a question about, because you
Yes.
talked about being on all these different
yes,
areas within the sheriff's department.
yes.
Is that something that the supervisor has put you in all these different areas, or is that something that you requested to be in all these different areas? How does that
Well,
work?
Well, it works two ways. You get punished, you get moved.
Okay.
You run for sheriff, you get moved.
Okay.
So there are different reasons. But
Oh, really? Wait, punished. Who gets punished?
with that, there are certain things, and that's another reason. And as I said, everything we talk about today will relate to why I'm running for sheriff, because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm
I
just
hope
going to tell
not.
the truth.
That's all.
And a lot of
We should
people are
want
afraid
that.
to tell the truth. I'm not.
We
I've got
should want that.
27 years. I'm a grown woman. There's nothing for me to be afraid of. There's nothing for me to hide from. I'm a human being just like you are. I make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I fess up to my mistakes, but my mistakes, I've learned from them. And that's the most important part.
Mhm.
And that's why I want to be sheriff, because in a bigger and better way, I won't be entitled. I'll have the title. And I'll be able to use through my life experiences and through my experiences through my job and my moves that I've had, my different transfers or where are almost yearly. That's actually helped me grow and bringing me back. I last spent patrol last year with the younger officers, whom I was very impressed with. We have young officers; they need grooming, but they're very intelligent and they were very nice to me. And I was very respected in patrol as a senior officer. I'm currently in Gary Civil, right down the street. So
Okay.
here I am, GI,
Hey.
in my hood. So yeah,
We got a woman taking care of us here in GI.
where I am every day, up and down these city streets and sidewalks, and which I have to put a little
Disclaimer.
yes for Mayor Melton, who's doing a fantastic job in Gary. And I'm telling you, I rode through Etna a lot, and the roads are great. He's patching up holes. He's putting up lights. He's doing a lot of beautiful things for the cities and for the city. And I just want to say that, it's not for a kickback or anything. I just want to say what I see and where I'm at. at any rate, so I get moved a lot for that. A lot of people do. A lot of people get thrown into a fishbowl of the same unit because they're not favored in a unit or they've not complied with another unit. So I'd like to stop that. You know, people don't mind going to work. People love what they do. I'm sure you love what you do, but a lot of people don't want to go to work because of the supervisors. You know, it's not the job. It's the supervisors. And it's not all of them, but it's some. And I'm sure it's not only the Lake County Sheriff's Department. I'm sure it's all different departments, different places, retail stores, wherever. There's always that one person that's in that place, or a couple of people, you know, that are in that place that make it difficult. Instead of trying to help an officer, instead of trying to spot some signs that maybe there's some other things going on with the officer, instead of trying to help or accommodate, you know, or maybe it's something an officer is doing that maybe they should be treated in a maybe in a disciplinary manner, which they're not. It's favoritism. It's support,
brotherhood or whatever they call it.
Well, it could be sisterhood now too.
Sisterhood.
It depends who you support. It depends who you donate to. It depends who your horse is. And that's what happens. And that's why I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, because that's basically why people get moved, why basically people don't like the job.
Good to know.
There's demands. You know, there shouldn't be demands. You should be able to go out there and do your job, patrol your areas, talk to people, engage with the community. That is your job as an officer. You know, our responsibilities are to protect the courts, the judges, the jail, the community, to enforce law and make sure that there's no criminal activity and that the community is safe. You know, that's our job as police officers, not for politics, not to see what you can get, the better car, the better move, the less work. It's not about that. And that's what's happening in many different places, and actually
I would
in our
imagine
department
so.
too.
Thank you for sharing that.
Okay. So generally speaking, about how many females are within the Lake County Sheriff's Department?
I should have a better number for you. I'm going to say 14 at this time. We have 14 female officers, and they shine.
Wow.
These girls shine. I'm
that's
so
a small
proud
number.
of the female officers that we have, because when I started, I was the only Hispanic female for a long time. So, you know, it's you know, you're a double minority. You're a female and you're Hispanic.
Latina.
So it was difficult for me. It was very difficult for me. And now the girls have a relationship with the men on the department, where it's now brotherhood, sisterhood, you know, and the girls now, if something goes wrong, if it's not favorable, then they're punished too, like anybody else. And there are some women that we have that are great officers that now probably aren't enthusiastic and probably have lost just a little bit of that, you know, drive of being at work and doing the job, because maybe something happened and they were treated probably not in a fair manner. So it happens to the females now.
So knowing all that, Ms. Maria, as Lake County Sheriff, what would you change about all that you've witnessed, that you've been living through, that you've been hearing, that you've been around from what you just mentioned? And thank you for your being candid about it. What would you do different as the Lake County Sheriff?
Well, let me roll up my sleeves right now.
So do you have time?
You got time, yeah. Well, first of all, I do a complete audit of the Sheriff's Department, because I don't want anything creeping out from the woodwork that I don't know about. And anybody who holds any office or any area and that you're going into, you should do that, because you don't want the bugs coming out later on during your career and you're just blindsided by it. The second thing I would do is I would engage more with the community. I think we should have a sheriff's night out. Don't have it. I think we need to go out there. I think we need to meet with the different communities, not so much precincts. Precincts are great, but getting down to the people and getting them back involved and engaged, especially with our youth, especially with the young people. A gym night, or better yet, back when I was in high school, and we won't go to what year that was, what we had was a program where the kids would work and get paid for it and get school credit for it. So that would mean meeting with the school board and seeing if they can do that, which is great. It'll take their heads out of their phones. They get to engage with the public. They get to engage with the police officers. There's many things in our department that they can help with that we need a lot of help with. We have interns all the time. If we had a program like that, I think that would give them some structure in their life and maybe give them an idea of what they want to do for their future, whether they want to go into business or whether they want to go into law enforcement, whether they want to be, an attorney or something else. There's different areas that they can go into in doing something like that. So I'd like to do something like that. I'd also like to, I'm very, very concerned also about our animals, which I'd have to mention also.
Mm-hmm.
I've been recently in situations where animals are abandoned in homes because people are evicted or people just leave. And these animals are abandoned. I had one animal that was tied to a pole and he was abandoned. And when he came out, we thought he was going to attack us. He wasn't going to attack us. What he did was he sliced his own throat in getting himself loose from the pole that he was tied to. And while this poor dog was suffering from a laceration against his throat, we were trying to find a place to have him taken care of, to aid medical treatment and also placement. And so we lack thereof a place, especially for our own canines who get hurt during pursuits when they're chasing the bad guy, to have a state-of-the-art animal shelter, which I know we can do. We can do something like that where it's roomier for the animals, where there's amenities there. And an amenities doesn't mean like spa day for the animals. What it is for their teeth, for their for grooming, for their animal hygiene, and also for adoption, and also for medical treatment to keep them healthy and keep them updated with their shots. If we could do something like that, I would like to also work on something like that. Also with now we're having different. My last time in patrol, our encounters were with dementia and with autism. That right now is a problem.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that if we had something as simple as an iPad in our cars that we can relate to the children, that would communicate better with us, because what more do they want to do except be on an iPad or an iPhone, so we can communicate better with them, because a lot of times they're hostile and we're unable to communicate.
Especially the nonverbal
and the
kids.
nonverbal,
Yeah.
right? So you want to be able to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
With that, and also with the drug program right now, we can incorporate something. I know we have a program right now, but I'd like to incorporate another program for the drug problem that's going on right now in Northwest Indiana. I've spoken to a couple of people, and there are so many people out there that I talk to on a daily basis, and this is non-political, and these are people that are trying to reach out to help the vets. I speak to a lot of vets who are losing their homes also, vets who are looking for, they're disabled and they don't know how they're going to make ends meet or pay for their homes or have food or roof over their head or anything, and they want resources. So in helping our vets, just being a little bit more in tune with our community and talking to people. People just want you to listen. People want you to listen. And if you listen, then what you can do is you can provide them with resources. You got to care though. And even though you have all these accolades and all these colleges and all these certificates and all these bells and whistles, that's meaningless. If you can't talk to people, if you can't listen to people, if you can't do for people and have a little bit of empathy for people, then what good are you? Then that's the entitlement, not the title.
That's good. That's good. Thank you.
So Maria, going back then, so in terms of, let's say, your top two priorities, I know you mentioned about having an audit to make sure that you know what,
in the jail,
the whole picture, so to speak, and where the department stands and everything. So how would you summarize your second major priority if elected next Lake County Sheriff?
It's interesting because everything's a priority. Everything's a priority, especially our jail. Like, as I said before, I've been to different institutions, prisons, jails, and, we're a little behind on the times. There's a lot of cleanup. There's a lot of cleanup that we need in our department, in the jail, our correction officers. We have to make it a cleaner, a safer place for our inmates, for our correction officers, most importantly. That's another, we have to look at our commissary. I'd like to look at the budget. I'd like to look at medical. I'm going to be all up in it. I am, because as I said before, I know the money's there, and if I have to poof from my own budget, I will do so. But I know the budget is there, and I'd like to know what's going on with that budget. Another thing that I'd like to do is also our clerical. Our women and men that work clerical on the department, no stone will be left unturned, and this is no offense to anybody, but, we have people walking through the door making so much money at a high rate, and we've had men there 20 years, and they're right there with the people walking in through the door. So I'd like to somehow adjust that and make sure that the veteran clerical personnel that's there also is taken care of and maintained, and that they're being compensated for the job that they do that always goes unnoticed, because that's how I started. I started in jail records, and the person that sits behind that desk is the person that takes the call, just like our dispatchers. They take that call, they have to deal with the people, then they forward it to us. But they are not compensated for that, for the work that they do, for their being by themselves, running that office and managing by themselves sometimes, and they're not compensated for it. So I recognize that.
Let me ask you this, because
hold on a second. Okay. It's 42 minutes after the hour, listening to Nuestra Comunidad, NWI. Callers, now's the time to ask the only woman candidate right now at Lake County Sheriff. The lines have been quiet unless you're taking notes, right? 219-885-1371. We have Maria Garcia Trajkovich here telling us what she is thinking of doing once she becomes the Lake County Sheriff. And she will make history. She is the first woman that will win as a Lake County Sheriff, if that is the Lord's will. And she's Latina too. And she said something that's important, that I am also the same. Don't vote because I'm a woman. Don't vote because I am Latina. Vote because I am the one for you, for your community. But go ahead, Juanito.
Okay, I was going to ask you if you can summarize a little bit in Spanish from what she said.
Claro que sí. Well, unless you want to try it.
Go ahead. I'll chime in.
Esta linda candidata, Maria Garcia Trajkovich, está corriendo para la siguiente sheriff, que es la primera femenina si llega a ganar como la sheriff del condado de Lake. Está explicando aquí qué es la pasión de ella, que es para estar involucrada en la comunidad, no nada más la comunidad latina, sino en la comunidad del condado de Lake, traer programas para asegurar que nuestros niños estén seguros en la comunidad. Al igual también dice que hay problemas con los niños de autismo y cómo controlar a las personas que tienen ahora demencia, cómo encontrarlos, how you find the people with dementia, that's another thing. Y ella quiere limpiar lo que es ese departamento del condado de Lake, porque ella ha tenido, how many years in the service again? 27 años siendo en el servicio de allí del condado de Lake, y gracias y felicidades por tu servicio, María, que está aquí para que ustedes voten por ella. Quieren llamar, hacer una pregunta, llamen al 219-885-1371. Ella dice que ha visto muchas cosas y aquí no está ella para mentir, para decir las cosas lindas que ella está diciendo aquí, la verdad. Así es que esta es María García Trajkovich, está corriendo para la siguiente sheriff del condado de Lake.
It was at St. Pat's when one of the members, sat at the table that me and you were at.
Yes.
For, I think it was at a community meal. She had asked you, I think, who are you running against? Yeah. And then I made mention that you're not running against anyone, so to speak, because the current Lake County Sheriff is limited to two 4-year terms. So the current Lake County Sheriff is already on his second 4-year term. Therefore, he will not be able to run for a third 4-year term. So that seat is going to be open upon the conclusion of his being the Lake County Sheriff. So now the people that are running now, including Maria, are running for what's going to be an open Lake County Sheriff's seat. Just want to make our listeners and streamers aware of that.
Right.
So, so this is at least, I think, the second time you're running for Lake County Sheriff.
Well,
is that correct?
I started with the caucus, and then I ran in the election, and then midterm, and now the election again.
So this is a little different than the first time you ran this, because if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm not correct, was because there was an opening when John Busnich got convicted. Is that the place? So it wasn't a full campaign. It was because John Busnich unfortunately got convicted in federal court, and in this state, when
Yeah.
you get convicted, if you're an elected or appointed official, you have to resign right away. So so you got at least a little
Yeah.
experience in running for this particular show.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the only one, I think, that has ran, is the veteran candidate, so to speak.
Hold on, I think the word. One of your points that you made, you said you will implement ways to better the communication in the department. We will listen, then act when and where it's needed. Part of that to me sounds like professional development, personal development. If you ask me, every department, every company, I don't care where you work at, you need some help, folks, because how do you diffuse a problem? How do you de-escalate when you're the one with the problem and you're wearing the badge? I've seen it myself. I've witnessed it myself. And I frown when someone uses their badge for authority and overpowers someone that needs your help. Instead, you yank them out of your car, your own kind. I don't have to say who you were because I tagged you over a year ago. And I was like, wow, my mouth just dropped that I witnessed something of that nature. And I asked someone in the state police, no one you know, that I said, can you just watch this video? Is it me, or is it that I just saw something that should not have happened? Racial profiling has still been happening. How do you suppose that we help our officers? Because we always say we act out of what we don't know because we lack training.
Right. Well, you're not going to have a perfect department.
Of course not.
Because we all have our personalities, and a lot of them are hidden, and you don't find out until sometimes it's too late. And so another part of that is entitlement. If you run with your person you supported and everything's okay, then you're more likely to have that attitude. And those are the people that are the problem officers. That does happen because we have things going on. Nobody's perfect, and once in a while, and that's like even with the sheriff. And I don't mean the current sheriff. Let's get that straight. I'm just talking about being the sheriff in general.
In that position,
you wear that crown. You got to have people around you, knocking that crown over once in a while. Because if you don't, and you go out there and you think you know everything, and you got this, you don't. And it was some of the things that you were saying earlier that I truly believe in, and I totally 100% agree with. And that was that, as you were saying before, but that was one of them. But here's another thing that Juan mentioned, and I am going to mention it right now. There's a lot of guys that get or I hate to say guys, men or women, I don't know if any women that have done it yet, but that get this power. And they're here and they can't let go. And they live virtually through the person that they will help as a candidate to get that spot, so they could somehow get inside the department to still be at a position where they're no longer can be at, or they're no longer in. So, and there's a power thing going on here. I don't want any part of that. Anybody that helps me. Anybody that helps me and thinks that I'm going to do what they want me to do, that is not going to happen, because there are already things that we already know in place, ethical things, honest things, and the right thing. And those are the things that I will be doing. I don't need a former, past, present person helping me because they want to continue to have power, or they think they're going to somehow obtain some kind of power through me. It's not going to happen. I said it before and I'll say it again. I am no one's puppet. So that's how that card's going to be played.
It's 49 minutes after the hour. And, she's speaking like a true woman, a warrior. I'm not saying that I'm for her or against her. Is the fact that what I'm hearing her say, it sounds like I've been speaking something like that too, because it's not about a title. It's about what you do with that title, right? And I have seen some things that may be unfair. And so how would you propose to correct those things that, even if it's your friend, like I always tell you, if my brother was running for office and he's not the right person, I wouldn't support. And that doesn't mean that I don't love him. Right. It's just, it's not fair to the community. How would you propose to take care of that?
Well, it would be taken care of through our policies and procedures. There are different steps that we take, and some of them are not used correctly. Our policies and procedures. If somebody does something out of pocket that they should not be doing, racial profiling, because I've been racial profiled too. I'm not always in a police car, and yeah, that's a horrible feeling. I'm a cop. And if I see a cop behind me and I'm not in a cop car, I got that pucker effect too, just like you probably have that pucker effect. Like, I better drive right. I better do the speed limit. But so no, nobody wants that. But there are disciplinary actions and steps that we can take that will be taken, because the team that I will have will make sure that we will not deviate from the policy and procedure, and that we will do things correctly and in a timely manner. That will be handled. There will be no one that's favorable. There will be no one that'll get away with something and it's shoved, not dusted under the rug, because that has happened. So, I've not been fortunate. Not that I would want anything done like that for me, but believe me, I've been accountable for the things that I've done. I've been called to the carpet for the things that I've done, and probably things that I felt that were unfair. I'm sure everybody in the department, most people have a policy that probably should have their name at that policy, because that's how policies are written. So I'm hoping there's going to be a little less policies written, less mistakes, and more people called on their BS, because that's what that is. If you're a racial profiling, or you're stopping some woman because she's attractive or something's going on, because I've seen it, I've witnessed it, no, we're not going to have that.
What events do you have coming up in terms of fundraisers?
Thank you for
Promote
asking.
it.
Yeah, on the 29th, we have a big gig coming up. Heavy the band will be there, and it's going to be at Wicker Park. And I'm not set on tickets yet, how much tickets are going to be, but tickets are going to go very fast. Heavy has a big following, and there will be a surprise at this event, and it'll be the 29th of November. And I hope I'm speaking correctly. I don't want my committee to get angry with me, but it's from 6 to 11, if that's correct. Well, they wouldn't get angry with me, but I don't want to make it.
El siguiente evento para la candidata, si quieren conocerla, aún no han decidido qué precio los boletos, pero es el 29 de octubre. Where again?
It's going to be at Wicker Park.
En Wicker Park con el grupo Heavy. Así es que yo sé que muchos de ustedes latinos les encanta la música de Heavy. Así es que si quieren ustedes apoyar a la señora Maria Garcia Trajkovich, preséntense allí, digan que ustedes están con ella. Si tenemos 2 minutos que quedan aquí el programa, llamen al 219-885-1371. I think a lot of people are listening, Maria, more so, because sometimes Juan and I will be somewhere out in public like, we listen to you. Well, call in so that way we know. They just know we're learning a lot. Thank you for what you do in the community.
Just have one thing real quick.
Yes,
First
go ahead.
of all,
Your
Eve,
time.
I'm happy that I had the honor of doing this interview with you, because I wanted to hurry up and get in before you left. You are an icon. We appreciate you, and a staple. And you will not be forgotten. And I clearly understand.
Okay, now someone else trying to make me cry.
No, I clearly understand when you say you need to move on so we can grow, because that's what we need to do at the Sheriff's Department. We need to clear what's going on now so we can grow. And I'm that person that you're going and I'm coming. So that's number one. Number two, I'd like to thank my committee, my husband, and my family, my kids, my grandkids, and the people I work with, and the people who have faith in me, and the people who are pushing for me and helping me navigate through this journey that I know that we're going to do, because I am going to be the next Lake County Sheriff. And remember, you heard it right here from me at this time. And I want to thank and I'm not being arrogant about that.
No, you're just being confident.
It's time, people. It's time. And we need to do that. And we need to set that example for younger women. And I want my grandbabies and my kids and my husband and my family to say, that was my mom, my Grammy, my sister, my mother, my Grammy, that she did this for us, because she knows she wants a better place for us to be. And she wants this to be a better place for everybody.
Okay.
That shows she's a family woman, right?
And God. Thank you.
Amen.
God.
Also very important, you have a website, contact
I was just going to say, what's your contact information?
I have a
someone wants
Facebook
to know?
page. It's Maria Garcia Trajkovich for Sheriff. And on there is my website also. I have it in my purse on my card. I don't think I have it on here.
How do we spell that name? I know how to spell it, but those that are listening.
Macedonian. That's
Yes.
Stephen Trajkovich is my husband who's filming.
Shout out to Stephen.
So
How many children?
I have 4 biological children and a stepson.
Awesome.
Yes.
And their names? Come on, give them a
have-
shout out. They're watching. Look,
Yes,
that's
I
right
have
there.
I have my Valerie, who is married to Mondo, and I have my Sally, who is autistic. She's nonverbal, and my grandson Aaron, who is very musically inclined. I have my Michelle, Laura, Olivo, and Ryan, and my grandbaby Ariel, who's my athlete. I have my son Alec Joseph, who lives in Chicago. He works at Advocate Hospital, and I have my baby Veronica Natalie Garcia, who is human resources over in Chicago also, and my stepson is also Carl Trajkovich, who is a nurse at St. Mary's Medical Hospital. And my
Well,
husband, Stephen Trajkovich, who's a
awesome.
captain at our Lake County Sheriff's Department, who I'm very, very proud of.
So he's too a sheriff's department
Oh, yeah.
personnel.
Yes, he
Well,
is.
I want to say publicly, thank you for your service. Thank you for giving up your time and risking your life every day that you're out there, because every day is different. You don't know what you're looking forward to or not.
Right.
And I pray that you all are safe and always
Yes.
make it back home. And for those that are out there, please pray for our officers. They too go through stuff.
Yeah.
They see things that we may not ever see. And you talking about PTSD, folks, they too need help, but they also need understanding and love and kindness.
One last question. So what do you think is going to take you to become the next Lake County Sheriff? So what's key from today on till the primary election, which is in May of next year? What is key to you and your committee for you to become the next Lake County Sheriff?
Like she said, know me, see me. You know, you have to do that and register to vote. We got to register to vote. You know, I've been dealing a lot with young people and including my granddaughter, who's in the student council, and she's 8 years old. And I'm giving her ideas on how to help elderly, how to help veterans. Now, they won't be around these people, but they can still give in some form. So, you know, I'm reaching all the communities. I'm talking to people. I'm listening. I hear you. I feel you. I am there for you, and I care. So that's what's going to get me elected. I guarantee you that, because I'm not going to be that person that does not return a phone call. I'm not going to be that person that does not listen to you. I'm going to be that person that's there for you. No matter who you are and where you are, I'm there for you.
All right. And on that note, that's our cue, Juanito. Ya se acabó nuestro tiempo. Gracias, Maria. Thank you, Stephen, for bringing her. And thank you all to listening. Our show, we're going 15 years coming up. October 30th, save the date. Meet us or beat us there at Nuestra Comunidad's 15th anniversary. And my goodbye. Well, it's time to go. On that note, Juanito,
Right,
thank you
thank
for
you so
everything.
much,
You guys
No,
have a
thank
great
you.
night.
It's a
Nos
great
vemos
night.
hasta la
All right.
próxima.
Appreciate you. Good
Love you
night.
guys. Good night.
Bye-bye.
It did.
I wanted to tell you, probably like last month,